you telling me to come to church every day does not guarantee my salvation and does not guarantee that I'm a believer. There are some people that are not even going to church and yet God is doing what they want for them. Does that make them bad eggs? Most of the time I will just be in the corner of my room crying and writing poems. I cannot obey my parents at the detriment of my own enjoyment because while they're in their own prime, they also give their own. My name is Talabi Samuel Timitope. I'm currently a student of Obafemi University here. So, yeah, concerning religious fanatics, actually, it's it was a long story, but I'm going to share it with you guys. Yeah, it all started because my parents they used to be a religionist. Let me put it that way. So they love everything that pertains to the doctrinal lecture of the Bible. So they don't want anybody to go against it. Nobody can go against this. And in this, I believe, as a student, in this modern century, I guess it is not important for your parents to choose for you. I believe this is 21st century computer age, whereby you can do anything. Unlike in the olden days, whereby our parents choose everything for us. Well, yeah, we shouldn't be compelled to do things we are old enough to choose. But it's all of a sudden whereby our parents always instill a religion, a particular religion on us. Like, this is what I want you to do, and this is the doctrine I'll be following, this is the doctrine of our church, and these are the things you need to follow. And what if the doctrine that you enjoyed is not what I can enjoy? What if the pleasure you are deriving from it is not what I derive from it? Going to church frequently doesn't make you a believer. And these are the things my parents are always making sure that I do. That Monday to Sunday, I must be in church. Like, you know, even the Holy Scripture says it is not even on the mountain or in the church that you can just encounter God. Even at the corner of your room, you can encounter God. But my parents are always making sure that every day, in as much as it's called today, I must be in church. And these things are the rules I don't involve in. What if that day you want me to go to church that is an important match to play, or that is an important football to see? Because as you're looking at me, I'm a social person. I love going for parties. I love going to all this social thing. I love being there. So what if the best month of my life is about to happen, and you ask me to come to church? I cannot balance the two together. I'll have to forsake your doctrine and go for what that pleases me. So, not that I want to change my religion, but what I'm trying to emphasize is that not all the time I will be coming to church. And the fact that I don't come to church all the time doesn't make me a bad egg. But because of this religious fanaticism, my parents always believe that coming to church every day, being fervent in prayer, coming to church and pray and do all kinds of work and maybe be in the ministry, they believe it is good according to the doctrine of our church. And I think these are not necessary. I think you and your God can just talk. Your heart is what matters most. Even the Bible says people look at the physical appearance, but God look at your heart. What if those of you that are going to church have not even following the way of God, more than me that have not even going to church? As one thing we call something moral, and the moral is that you have to obey your parents. If that is morality, fine, I need to obey you. But to what extent am I going to obey you? Is it at the detriment of even really my own peace of mind? Okay, fine. Obey your parents, says the Bible. But at what detriment? I am in school. I need to be in class. And you want me to be in church at the same time. Then if you know you want me to be in church, why don't you send me to missionary school? I study religious studies on campus, even studying all the religions of the world, be it Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, or Shintoism, even going to African tradition, even going to Islam tradition. And those are the things, how do I strike the balance? Okay, now you send me to school, then how do you want me to prove to you that I go to school, even if I only stick to Christianity alone? What if my lecturer asks me, give me a practical assignment that when I get home, I should go and do yoga and search in word of myself. And my parents will telling me I am now all the things I'm doing, the inspiration from the pit of hell. You see me sitting in form of yoga and trying to look for nirvana. You're telling me this is not done in the church. When you want to pray in church, you kneel down and pray and close your eyes. Actually, I'm not saying I'm changing my religion from Christianity to that religion. But for the main time that lecturer gave me that job, let me work on it. So, but my parents always say no, no, no. Even if it is possible, you will change your course and change your course to another thing. all because of this religion and doctrines that our church doctrinal issue did not allow this. Must we always follow the church doctrines? So this caused a lot of rift and problems between me and my parents, to the extent that I was thinking of running away from house. I wanted to run mad because I find it difficult to work in that way. Because what is working for you might not work for me. And they want to compel me to work in that way. They have to stop my school. I was with them. I was just like, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. My phone was seized. Everything about me was just stopped. But at the end of the day, I was thinking of succumbing to their will. Because when the pressure was getting too much, like only me fighting a battalion battle. So I was thinking that if you cannot beat them, then you join them. Most of the time I would just be in the corner of my room crying and writing poems. A lot of poems I've written because anytime they are just trying to bring up those religion fanatics, I always find solace and happiness in my poem. Until I just got to know that my parents were like telling me this poem of everything I'm writing, it's something that is even evil. I'm gaining inspiration from the devil. I was like, number poem. While we were in secondary school, these are the little things our teacher will compel us to do and write. How will you just tell me that your religion is telling me the poem I'm writing is evil? This is the only thing that is giving me joy apart from everything you've done. You stopped my school, you collected my phone, even you deprived me of a lot of things. Now, the poem I'm finding peace of mind in, you're telling me is is evil. They took all my books, all the records of my poetry. It was burnt. I keep telling them, you can only burn the writings, but you cannot burn the words in me. I keep on writing, took another book, kept on writing. They will pick it and burn it. It got to a point whereby I have a brother. So let me just say he came to my head. He came home one day and he met me while I was crying. I explained everything to him and was like, "Ah, in this modern age, 21st century, whereby everybody is free to choose anything he or she wants to do. He sat my mother down because we all believe that our fathers are always like streets. So to get into the door of the house of our fathers, we need to get in through our mothers. So my brother sat my mother down, and yet my mother was like, no, the husband is the head of the house, and whatsoever he says must stand. My brother did it. He was unable to do it. He left. Okay, fine. I told my parents, okay, I think at this point we have to make an agreement. What is that thing you want me to do? Bring out your list of what you want me to do. And I also drop my list. I think this time around we are going to bargain. 50-50, I will do part of yours, you do part of mine. I cannot obey my parents at the detriment of my own enjoyment. Because while they're in their own prime, they also did their own. So I think everybody was given a floor for that. When I see that things are beginning to blend, okay, and I went to them and said, okay, apart from the school that you've taught, then what should we do? My father was like, I'm still on that probation. That he's still thinking that if I go back to school, I might still go back to my old ways. He told me I have to sign an undertaking. Okay, fine. If that is a problem, if that is what you want, I'm going to sign an undertaking. Maybe she just to come to church every Sunday and attend service. No problem. To jump the ball. But I'm not going to stop me from writing poem, which you always say it's an inspiration from the devil. Okay, fine. I signed an agreement. I wrote an undertaking letter. It was signed by my parents. I signed. So next time that it was taken to church, our pastor in church also signed the headers because those all of them portrays me as a bad egg. They were like, Omo Burukuni, he's not a good boy. He's always going about frolicking with ladies and flirting. And if those are the things you want me to stop, okay, fine, I'm going to stop them. But is it the portrait of a thing that is giving me joy? I can't stop it. And that's what you want me to start doing a religion. I was not telling myself, okay, maybe at some point I might get solace and happiness in a religion. Let me just try to what? Let me just try to dance to your tune. And you also dance to my tune by not stopping me from writing poems. We both signed on that taking letter that we are not going to breach the agreement. Okay. After a lot of frustration, I was allowed to go back to school. Since then, back then that was I think 2022, both sides were taking letter. Till now, it has not been reached. I've been living my best life, and they have been living their best life. But what I always make sure is that you telling me to come to church every day does not guarantee my salvation, and does not guarantee that I'm a believer. So I might even be in the classroom that I'm learning my course of study and still pray to God, and God will answer me. There are some people that are not even going to church, and yet God is doing what they want for them. Does that make them bad eggs? Oh, and that was the reason why I see these religious fanatics as something that needs to be eradicated. That everybody must give the chance to speak for him or herself. Like everybody is entitled to his or her freedom. We must not be compelled to do things. If what you ask me to do is not good for me, then I have to what? I have to leave it behind and tell you this is what I want. I have to what? You have to respect my opinion.
Did you ever speak to them about how their emphasis on religion is affecting your mental health?
Not only I spoke to them alone, they knew, and it was as if they are deliberate in their actions. That it may be when I'm mentally down, when I'm mentally down, I will think. But the time at that point I was mentally down, I think my instinct gave me a way, that is, it gave me a way out, which was poetry. And when I saw that I've been gaining my strength through poetry, because anytime I write a poem, I'm always trying to strike a balance. I'm always trying to make a point. Okay, now there was a time as at that time I remember a poem I wrote, struggle to fight. I struggle to fight that in this world you have to struggle to fight. Even if people are against you, you have to struggle to fight. And I remember another poem that I wrote, my days are numbered in a place whereby I am being shattered, my days are numbered. So and when they start saying those things, they were like, I'm getting my balance. And that was when they said they need to burn those poetry. And I told them, even if you burn them, I'm the one who wrote them. If you burn the writings, the words are still in me. Not only that I spoke out, they saw my actions and they saw how I've been trying to fight against it. And when they see that they couldn't go again, they couldn't go further, that I was so adamant and stubborn, then they have to bring morality into the case. They left religiosity. Though religiosity was still part of it, but they brought morality. They now make morality as the the center of the fanatics. Let me just say that.
So they were aware that what they are doing was affecting you, but they basically didn't care.
They didn't, because they were like, at the end of the day, I will use the word, if you can't beat them, you join them. I was trying to consider the word that actually I alone in the midst of all these battalions, then how am I going to scale through? And yet, as I was trying to join them, then comes this poetry. It's just like it gives me power to face them. And I see the power of poetry. It really helps me. Because till now, I still see poetry as the greatest therapy.
When you have kids in the future, how would you raise them, based on your experiences and your mindset right now?
Actually, I can't decide for anybody. First thing first is that everybody has the right to do anything he or she wants to do. The only thing I'm going to make sure as a father to kids is I'm going to teach them morality, not religiosity. I will teach them how to behave in the society, not how to relate with their God. So then, if they want to follow my ways, they'll follow. But one thing I'll make sure is that I will teach them morality. There are some certain morals that children they need to know. Like now, when we are talking about morality, we must teach them how to behave in the society, how to behave in the midst of people. So I can't just tell my kids now, okay, I want you to follow this. You know, as much what you are doing is giving you joy. You know, as much what you are doing is giving you peace of mind, and yet it is not making you an immoral person. You are good to go. I can't force any religion on somebody, but what I will force on them is what is morality. I will make sure that their conscience is sound and moral. I can't instruct them to go by this religion. Though I'm going to tell them, even see, this thing is part of my story. I'm going to teach my kids. I'm going to tell them about my lifestyle. Now it is now in your hands to choose. Are you going this way? Are you going this way? I don't care the religion you are going for. But what I'm going to make sure is that the morality, it must stand. The morality must be 100%. It's not religiosity is just like, okay, now we have three domain religion in Nigeria, three hegemonic religions in Nigeria. We have the Christianity, the Islam, and the traditionalist, right? So, and people always often say that there is just a name, which is God, but we have divergence of actions, but the name is just one, but we have divergence of actions. Now, okay, now the name God is a personality, but with many identity. So now I would let them know that this God we are talking about is a personality but different identity. But one thing I will make sure is that morality from man to man, I will teach them morality from man to God. How do you relate with God and how do you relate with man? I won't teach you or compel you on the religion you're going to go for. But I think as a child that his conscience is sound and moral, we go for the good one. So it is left to them to choose what they want to go for, not you compelling them. You can't see this age, this era. In the olden days, maybe in the early in that age, that is when they do compel people to do things. Maybe our forefathers in the olden days, they ask our mothers, they ask our children, our colleagues then. They ask them to do this, and they will do it because they have what we call autonomy. But at this age, we have what we call this 21st century, whereby everything we are in the computer age, whereby even a child of 5 years old can operate computer perfectly. So how do you want to expect me to teach a child that is operating computer perfectly? How do you expect me to teach him or her what to do? But one thing I'll mention is that okay, a child of 5 years old that is operating computer perfectly. I need to teach him morals on how to use the computer so as not to destroy him or herself. So I think we shouldn't be teaching ourselves religiosity. We should be teaching ourselves morality because that is the only thing we can that is the only thing that can make the world a living place. Most of our leaders right now they were only taught they only carry religion on their head, and that is the reason why we are seeing a lot of collapses in the sectors in Nigeria. And but now, if morality is being taught, that people know the efficacy of morality, then I think people will live a good life and everybody will be living a good life, not a compilation life. That is it.